What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Cracked Plastic Classic Round 1 Back 12 coverage here at Colebrook Park in Climax, Michigan. Super excited to come back and show you guys the Back 12 coverage for this hole. I'm Zach O'Haron, and commentating with me I have Donut as per usual.
What's up, guys?
So super excited to come back. It's our second event that we're covering this year. Taking a look at our front nine scores. Geoff, Patrick, and Tim all having pretty good front rounds. Andrew had a lot of unlucky kicks going on there, but he hopefully is going to come back in this Back 12 here and make a nice recovery.
Yeah, that scorecard doesn't look good. A couple of those are missed putts. A couple of them are bad kicks. Yeah. A couple of those are failed scrambles, but this course is kind of tough.
Yep, it definitely has teeth here. Hole 13 is no exception to that, 249 feet. Honestly, I think that the best line there is a turnover backhand righty, at least approach shot. You're trying to get something to flip up a little bit to go straight, trying to stay inside of that tree you see there on the left side where Tim's at.
I like the Geoff Bennett line. We're going to see it here. He hasn't done it yet, but he's going to do a force over forehand with his Firebird and put it way out left and have it crash back towards the hill.
Tim actually turned that over so much it nearly went roller, skipped up the hill, and stayed inside circle, so he's going to have a look at it.
Oh, he's going a little more inside than I expected, but this is a good shot still.
Yeah, I actually really, really like that shot. I don't have that kind of power, so I never even think about it, but he actually laced that perfectly, and it just, that specific bird just wasn't overstable enough, I think. I think it was one of his flippier birds. Patrick going on the inside as well.
This is a really common place to land.
Yep, on that left side.
Yep, where it didn't quite commit to that turning line, but kind of gave himself a putt and kind of gave himself a good upshot.
Andrew trying to go in that inside gap. Got through a lot of it. He's going to have an open look there. Probably circle's edge, maybe a little farther. Patrick much better than I thought he was. Great line.
Tough to jump putt in this weather and these conditions.
Yeah.
I mean, you can see tough. Geoff doing his best to scoot up that hill with a cart, but it's not easy.
It is definitely. The conditions are definitely getting interesting. As he actually leaks that one a little bit right. He definitely one he wanted there.
I think he forgot that the tree was there and putted like it wasn't.
I mean, his line was good. It just is a little leak to the right. It's definitely, I think that's a tactic a lot of pros use too, is that they're trying to make sure that they're mentally, my Lord.
That's a brutal one.
That one is, I'm so sorry, Tim. That was rough. But he's able to do the cleanup there. Yeah, but they're...
make sure you don't lose sight of the basket as you're putting. Right. It's really easy to get around the trees, but it's also really easy to forget that you have to make it in still.
Right. You're trying to get it out of there.
And then Geoff's obviously good enough to make the second putt wherever it lands. So.
Right. I mean, he can run for a lot of people who play at lower levels, AM3, AM2, even AM1 in some cases. So many players, they have to think about that comeback putt because that's a difficult putt for them. But for players like Geoff Bennett, they know they can make that comeback putt. So.
It's not even really a consideration,
right?
Whether he's running it or not.
Yep. Hole 14 now, par 3, 210 feet. This one's pretty... Looks like it's a pretty easy, just right-hand hyzer, but the problem is with the slope of the hill, you can get down that hill pretty quickly and get yourself in trouble. I see people either try to go wide right with the hyzer, it looks like Tim's lining up. He's going the inside gap and then trying to make it as straight as possible. Hits an unlucky last tree there, or you try to do a flex forehand, try around the right side and try to come back, which is what Geoff here is going to do.
Yep. There's also an inside forehand route, but the outside one's a little safer.
Yeah, as Geoff parks this beautiful Firebird right there. See what Patrick chooses to do. He's going inside gap as well. Backhand.
Perfect.
Yeah, I was going to say, not a bad tree, actually. He might have skipped much farther past this. Andrew looks like he's going to try to follow Geoff Bennett's suit. And that looked so good out of the hand. Can't see that tree off the tee, that branch out dead one. Can't really see it off the tee, so he curled around that first tree really well.
It's really difficult if you're not used to throwing the shot to leave it. It's really difficult to leave it as wide as you need to.
Yeah.
Because you're really just throwing it way off of the perceived fairway.
Yeah. And
then letting the disc float back in.
Andrew on his upshot there slipped a little bit, so he's going to have this real long look, very contested. He's going to flick it up and over.
That's a gorgeous upshot.
Yeah, not a bad look either. Kind of gave a couple scoots, but it's going to stay right there under the basket. You'll have a tap in from there. Pat with another miss here, very uncharacteristic. That disc has got to stop sliding. Stop. And it does. Ooh. That's what I was talking about earlier.
I think he had some unstable footing a little bit earlier, and now he's trying to reevaluate and stand a little different, and his routine's been a little shaken.
Yep.
Because he looked really, really good when we showed up. Though it has gotten a little colder, he might have some
finger grip.
Yeah, some hand problems where it's hard to open your hand back up.
Yeah.
It's hard to get a really, really clean release in these conditions.
Yeah.
Because your joints just slow way down.
Yeah. Hole 15 now, 201 feet. There's a couple lines here. There's a wide left gap that you can take that's left to right, kind of curves around the whole way. There's an inside gap on the right side as well. You can kind of see it there in the frame on the right side of the big tree.
Yeah, you go around, you go to the left of the big tree, but then to the right of everything else.
Yep.
So this hole would be very, very easy if you could throw that right gap with any sort of consistency. Yep. But this tee pad is so, it's not misplaced because it actually it's made to be difficult on purpose.
Tim almost throwing a roller there, able to get inside circle. We'll keep going.
So see, this is kind of how you have to line up. I think he's going right gap.
Yep.
Yep.
It's just really tight.
Yeah, so you can see how his release was a little obstructed.
Yep.
Where he didn't follow through as much as he wanted to, just because he was focused so much on hitting that gap.
Yeah.
And I think he threw a crank there. Might have been a little
too much.
Yeah, a little too much disc. Slow it down and stable it up a little bit. But this is a beautiful shot from Andrew.
That's a great skip.
That's what you're trying to do. That might even be a little too much disc, but I mean, you can throw a high-speed driver on this.
Yeah, I think his choice here his decision was probably to club up a little, disc up a little bit, and then that way he has the ability to throw a little more accuracy but still have the flight he wanted. Geoff taking a run-up jump putt at that, gave it a good bid, landed
a little snow there, not quite as packed down, so he was able to do the flying putt.
Yep. Definitely take advantage of it when you can. Patrick, another good layup there. He had a real obstructed look, his feet were a little... I remember him lining up was not his favorite spot. There's
Andrew's back.
Yeah, Andrew got a birdie there. Good recovery after those first two holes.
He's definitely been getting the amount of birdies he wants. He just hasn't... he's gotten almost 0 pars.
Right.
Where he just can't catch a break one way or another.
Yep.
And there's different things happening, and he'll get better. I'm sure we'll see him again back next year, and he'll be right in the card with these guys.
Absolutely.
Competing.
Hole 16 now, 237 feet. This one's probably one of the easier holes. Real open on the left side there. You really don't want to go on the inside right gap. You're just throwing something that's a little flippy if you're throwing backhand, if you're throwing forehand, something that doesn't fade too hard at the very end of its flight.
I bet Tim likes this hole. This one's pretty easy for these backhand turnover people.
Yeah, and he likes to throw flippy. So.
He likes to throw flippy, slow discs, like this one. This is a little too much, but good kick into it. That'll be a decent look for a putt. A little long, obstructed,
but he'll have a putt at it. I think this is a Buzz SS out of Andrew's hand.
Yeah, it looks like the Tim Barham Signature Series one.
Yeah, that's a great disc for this shot particularly, right? Throw it at a little less than 100%. Got a big skip off the snow there. Look at that swirl spin in the snow. That looks so cool.
Yeah, that's a Tim Barham disc.
So here's the forehand look. You're gonna have to go a little wider. He's
wow.
Just kidding. Never mind. He's going inside gap. Psych.
Yeah, sometimes Geoff makes his own path, but man, you just can't.
It is hard to argue with his results. Yeah, that's the thing. Some people make really if I make that decision if I was playing,
I'm just gonna roast you.
Yeah, it's a poor decision because I will not execute as well as this disc comes headed right at your head.
I really tried to commit as long as possible to that, but it was dropping right down on the noggin.
But it was headed perfect head level. But like I was saying, if I make that choice that Geoff did, it'd be a horrible choice, bad IQ. I don't know what I'm doing. But Geoff is so confident and skilled at what he does with that forehand.
He's just so clean with his discs. He's had them for so long, and he's played so many rounds.
Yeah. I mean, I think he's a 7-time state champ. When you're literally that good,
I think it's more than 7.
I think he's
7 or
open.
9. Oh, sure.
Leave a comment below. Let us know what it is. Oh, good putt from Andrew. Back-to-back birdies for Andrew now.
He's looking good.
Yeah, this is looking much better here.
The highs from Andrew have looked excellent.
Yes.
Everything good that he has done or that has happened has looked perfect.
Really clean.
Where he absolutely belongs where he is, and His throws look beautiful. His putts look really, really clean.
I'd love to see him play this again when there's no snow. I'm wondering, you know what I'm saying? Like, because I played this when there was a little bit of snow on it, and I definitely did not play as well as I could have, for sure. The weather affected my ability to play, but anyway, back to hole 17 now, 276 feet. This is the hole I would call baloney on the distance, because it definitely doesn't feel like 276, but it could be. It's right to left the whole way down. There's a very tight gap. You're throwing driver if you can, and unfortunately, this is the first you see the disc fading off to the left side there in the middle of the fairway. I had some technical difficulties happen with my camera at this point, so you didn't see the first tee-off shot there.
And then the forehand route originally looks really, really bad, but we see a lot of great players throw them.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people that don't even throw that many forehands throw it on this hole, where when you force it way over with a super overstable Firebird or a similar overstable fairway driver, and it flexes back out, that's actually the best way to attack the basket.
Yeah.
So the best way to get up there and get in circle is a backhand, but if you're trying to get underneath the basket or in the basket,
the forehand is the better choice.
Shout out to our friend of the channel, Kevin Baldwin, who actually aced this hole the previous day in Masters.
Really?
Yeah.
That's sweet. That's really sweet. But so Tim actually threw a backhand as well as Patrick there, and Patrick ended up getting up, basket height just a little far off to the side, and Tim would just hit that last guardian tree. Otherwise, he would have been underneath the basket as well. Andrew with a good upshot there.
And then this hole is even harder in the spring. This is one of the few ones that get harder. Easier.
Oh my!
Tim,
and he even looked at the basket there. He had hyzer on the putt, thought that should have caught for sure, and instead it spit him out.
But so when these trees and the foliage all grow in,
it makes it way harder.
It's so much harder. So much tighter. Beautiful putt there from Patrick. He looks like he's back. His split stance is coming back. His back foot's backing up a little bit. He might be back to his confident putting from earlier in round one.
Yeah, you see Geoff rubbing his hands a little bit. I bet he's feeling the cold right now.
Yeah, the joints are definitely slowing down for some of these.
Yeah, it's even when playing, you keep a certain warmth, right? Everyone who's played disc golf has felt that before. While you're playing, you can keep that kind of warm hum going.
Because of the semi-athletic nature of the sport.
Right, but your fingers are one of the parts that can really still freeze up even when you're still playing. It's just part of the game. Heading into hole 18 now, 336 feet. This one has this like swamp that's underneath it, which I remember when I first played this back in like 2011 wasn't there, but it's now filled in. It's wet all the time.
It's always been swampy.
Yeah, a
but
little
wet.
Wet.
It's not a lake. Now it's a full-on pond.
Yeah. So you got to throw over it. The hole itself is not incredibly difficult. Normally, the road to the left of it would be OB, and I forgot that he hit over the road. It is not OB today.
Right.
Because they didn't know if they were going to have the roads cleared to be able to see the line or not. It just happened that it did work out that way, but they still left it as not OB because I think that's what they did the day before.
Yep. Our TD made the decision that he didn't want cards wasting time digging through the snow to try to find the exact line and wondering if the disc was OB. So, and there's not going to be any traffic today.
Yeah.
Maybe. There's no one walking around the park.
Right.
There's no kids and dogs playing around because it was nasty cold.
Yeah.
So, great decision.
Geoff having an unlucky release there, went wide right, maybe grip locked a little bit. He's going to be short.
Let's hit a pole. Oh, bad skip.
But even if you land over here, this is a difficult putt. He's outside circle for sure from the road.
Yeah, he really wanted to catch up on those poles there as he hyzered out.
So you'll see that there's no camera view. You'll see me way in the background still on the tee pad as Geoff throws that mysterious thumber that you mentioned earlier beautifully up to the basket. Actually, from the card behind us, at this point, a stray disc came off and hit Andrew in the head, nearly taking out his eye. It was very close.
Yeah, it was right on his eyebrow where you'd see like a piercing.
Yep.
On the outside of his eyebrow there, and it wasn't really opened up. There was a little bit of skin taken away, but it was swollen up like a golf ball.
Yeah, it was we were very scared. He landed on the ground. Thankfully, he's okay, and he's able to continue taking a birdie there. So nice CTP shot from him, too.
It's a beautiful drive.
Yeah, it was perfect. I think it's a mid-2 from him. Just a great rip.
So, he's got some slightly obstructed vision, but it looks like he's going to be okay.
Yep. He was gonna feel it out and see how the swelling happens, like for the rest of round 2, because he said he was talking to me a little bit about it's like if it gets too bad, I won't finish if I can't see out of it. Right. But if it stays like the way it was, then he was gonna finish out the round. So
it wasn't hurting too bad. He wasn't feeling great, but it was okay.
Yep.
So here's the hyzer line from hole 19, 231 feet. This is what a lot of our pros are gonna be throwing. You're really never gonna see some really lower level players throw it out.
Yeah.
Over here.
I never so you can see on the left side there's a gap right there. I didn't even feel it necessary to record it because it is just there's no reason to take it.
If we play a casual round or we record an AM3 event, most of our players are going to throw a forehand really, really far left and throw a skip shot.
Yep.
But the pro players are just taking the obstructed fairway completely out of the equation, throwing a big hyzer. And it's really hard to get it around that tree. Geoff does an awesome job there.
Yep.
Where that tree is so wide and so tall, you have to get it way out. And it's really like a 330-foot shot.
Yeah. And so luckily there's actually, so it's not a hard cut.
That's the perfect shot from down there.
And that was very
hit the box.
Nearly got you as well. But you'll see that there's no clean cut for the shore there. It's really, really swampy. So as Andrew was a little short there, nicked a branch off his tee shot, so he's having to throw from the swamp there. Good upshot though. Sit. He'll have a putt there. These guys will be able to throw from this position. It will not be.
And the swamp is an OB. It's just the actual lake. So people are going to get a lot of leeway on where that actually starts. And players are going to be a lot flexible, very, very flexible to their card mates. And for the most part, if you're getting footing and it's not just 100% ice, what a putt. If it's not 100% ice, it's going to be inbounds.
Right. The TD did say, so Larry did say before the tournament started, if you're surrounded by ice, it is OB, like water. Yep. So, and luckily all this, but this is not, they don't consider that to be ice, even though it's probably frozen. Ooh, just a touch outside of the right side there, pushes itself out, and you save his par. And he does so nicely. Sitting under par for this round of 12 so far.
Yeah, he's looked a lot better since
the last four
front
holes.
12.
Last 4 holes, he's looked really good. Hole 20 now, 222 feet. Another hole that's really well designed. It's like the one we saw in the front 12 where it's just a standard hyzer shot. This is a forehand shot or a flip over shot. But again, lots of risk here because the OB water behind it is very relevant.
Yeah, it's like that cliff basket from before where you want to get it close, but then you'll skip into the water. And you kind of want to leave it out, but then you have a death putt.
So that's a... Unfortunately, that's going long there into the water. So that's on the lake. That's considered OB. But like if that was summertime, that probably might have choked up enough to sit.
From the dirt and the grass, absolutely.
It had a chance of choking up. So here's Tim throwing a backhand flippy shot, and that got caught in the last little bit of barrier there. He's going to have a real long, really death look.
The nice part about OB today is there are ice fissures out on the lake, and there are footprints right next to Geoff's disc. So he's going to have a really, really easy time retrieving his disc.
Yeah. And that's perfect from Andrew there.
And he also knows where it went out of bounds because he can see where it landed.
Yep, you can see the scoop marks in the lights. It is starting to snow now. We're just starting to get a little light layer there, so you can actually see discs like their path marks. And there's another perfect throw. Just had to be a little bit better than Andrew, apparently, as he's parked inside.
Following the great example of Andrew.
Yeah, we saw a perfect forehand, a perfect backhand. That's what you do on that hole. Tim with a crazy throw in. Like this is crazy. If he misses, he's going OB.
Oh, for sure.
Like how much faith does
he can spit out and go OB or metal and go
that's
OB.
insane.
But if you saw in the front 12 here, he's gotten very, very comfortable with putting from inside bushes in the snow today.
Yep, he's
gotten some practice in.
There's the foot marks you were talking about earlier too, of people who've been walking out. So
yep.
I think Geoff is going to still play it safe. He's not going to walk out there if he doesn't have to. He's going to scoot that with that long branch, but it's easy to find.
Yeah, there's no reason not to play it safe here, but he got his disc back. That's what matters.
That's all that matters there.
Save some money.
Hole 21, 291 feet. This one plays a little longer than this. It's gradually uphill the entire way. The OB is, of course, the parking lot on the right side there, and the pavilion on the left if for some reason your disc would go that far left off the tee pad, but Really, the danger here is you just don't want to turn it over, and you also need to give it enough to get there. That seems a lot of people
and
fall
then
short.
the fence is actually the line of OB. You can't.
Did Larry say it was?
I believe so.
Okay, I thought it was a part of it.
Okay, I could be wrong, but traditionally the fence is OB, and if you're in between the fence and the road, you are OB. Spoilers: we didn't have anyone land in between the fence and the road, so we don't have to deal with it.
So this one's kind of hugging that line, but Heiser's out really nicely. Man, Andrew has looked really sharp these last 7 holes. Really, he's coming back. This is a really good looking round now for this back 12. Patrick now just throwing that one a little low. See it skip into the snow a little early there. Geoff going with a forehand, because why not? Because
surprised he's throwing Destroyer here. He's definitely got the power to throw a Firebird.
Firebird, yeah.
But he's more consistent with his Firebird, but I mean, he tried to ace it, so.
Right.
And he can likely make that putt. That's within his range.
Yeah, for sure. Here's a really long look from Patrick. Decent bid, good power, just a little bit outright.
I think he wanted to run that, but he'll be happy with the result as it turned into a layup.
Yep. Ooh, Tim felt really good about that putt. Just a little too high maybe, kind of hyzered out. And we're definitely in the open now, so we've had a little bit of gusts here and there, but nothing real crazy. Geoff knew that was no good right out of the hand.
Yeah, the trees on this course, when you're back in the woods, we'll head back in the next couple holes here. They slow down most of the wind, but then there are some tunnels through the trees that get super windy. So as you, it's not a windy course for the most part.
You'll see it on
but
hole
the area is very windy. So when you throw, a lot of times you'll throw into a fairway and then your disc will get affected halfway through.
Right.
Easy birdie there from Andrew.
Yeah, great shot from Andrew there. That was textbook for the hole. And, I've noticed he's been clubbing down recently as well. It seems like he's taking out those fairways. He's been throwing mids, and he's been throwing them really well.
Yeah, he's got quite a bit of power.
Yeah, he does. Hole 22 now, 477. This is the longest hole in the course by far. Again, the road will not be playing as out of bounds. You're really just trying to crush something into this open space on the right side and let it hyzer back into this area here. It's much harder to reach it than you think.
Yeah, so there's really 3 par 4s on this course, or 4 par 4s in this course, in my opinion. There's the back-to-back ones on the front 9, or the front 12. There's this one, and then there's 24. And then this one is the most attackable of the 4.
Yes.
But, you need to have 430 power.
Yeah.
And then if you get over the hump, the skip puts you perfectly at the basket with a backhand. But we see a ton of players at every single level that will try to go for it, and then their disc will choke up last second and end up in those bushes.
Yeah.
So this actually got past him. That's good power from Tim there. He's kind of showing off.
And he said too. He was talking to me. When he turned around, he's like, he told me it wasn't enough power. He said he wanted a little more power out of that. Didn't quite get it, and he knew he was going to be short. And this is veteran knowledge of your game right there.
And the course.
Yeah, absolutely. Patrick really unlucky there. That disc never flipped over. That's actually going to leave him in a really tricky spot now.
Unusual smash backhand from Geoff Bennett. He's just trying to get it out there. I don't know if he can get there with a backhand.
I think he's got the power for it. I think he's just not, I know his forehand game is just more consistent. Yeah, absolutely. His consistency. And so he's going to be stuck on this side as well, like Patrick is. Patrick just throwing something way over the top forehand-wise, and he got over everything, gave himself a look. This was a phenomenal, scramble shot for him.
Yeah, I think he almost tried to hit something there.
Right.
He threw it too hard and assumed it was going to slow down, and he threw it so well it just got through.
Geoff now just throwing a little short. Forehand. Yeah, short forehand. He got caught in those. But this was very short. I was a little surprised, as well as he thought that was going to go down the hill a little farther. Andrew having nothing to do with that death putt if he misses it. He's just going to put it literally next to the basket.
And very smartly taking a 3 after a beautiful back 12.
Yep. He's really putting together a nice round here. There's no reason to...
This 2 is gettable for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
But there's not going to be a lot.
Yep.
So getting out of here with your 3 and not trying to bite too much off is just a great decision.
Oh, just off the top of the basket. Yeah, there are definitely guys in the field right now that can reach this hole. Like Andrew Marweed is in the tournament today. So he's definitely a guy that could reach that power for sure. Yep. But it's just...
We've got Nate Wegrin in the tournament. He's got a
huge backhand. He probably reached there with a fairway driver, to be honest.
Absolutely.
Hey, Nate, you should comment below and tell us if we thumbered it there. Just kidding. We know you didn't, but because it's too cold. There's no reason to throw out your arm. And congratulations, Nate, as well. He had a young little Wegrin recently.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
Baby Wegrin.
Yeah, Baby Wegrin. We can't wait to see them thumber 500 feet. Hole 23 now, 192 feet. This one's another fair but very tight fairway. You're trying to go up this middle gap, throwing something like a putter or a mid-range that's going to turn over a little bit and try to attack this hill at the very end of its flight with no fade, hopefully. You can also throw a forehand, as Andrew's also looking like he's opting out to do.
Yeah, I actually do like the high forehand route on this hole. You're trying to get something super flat. You're not really trying to hyzer or anything.
Yep.
You're trying to take maybe a zone or something decently stable and get it flat.
He nicked that leaning tree there, and it put him straight down. Tim turned his over just a little too much, gave him a little bit of a fist bump because it actually kicked another tree, but stayed like reasonably close.
Yeah, just spiked straight down instead of kicking way out.
Like that could have ended way worse. Patrick throwing sit.
That's a good shot.
Definitely inside circle. Yeah, I mean, without the snow, that says 5 feet from the basket. You know, literally a perfect shot.
Geoff throwing a Firebird.
He's playing really tight there. I think he wanted to go a little wider there. You can see he's not happy where that went. But you can see, like, even Geoff right now, this cold is really definitely taking a toll on some of these players. Ooh. That was so hot.
Little forehand putter action.
As soon as he threw that, he even said something. He was like, "Oh, go in." I was just like, "No way." But another early tree from Geoff. We saw his last one do that, but he was able to recover for the par putt. We'll have to see where he landed in a little bit. Tim taking a run at it. Ooh, good bid. Just making sure he's been watching his disc recently because he's had a couple bad spit outs, a couple weird rollaways. He's watching his disc now, making sure it stays where it's supposed to. And Geoff, of course, saves up that par. Good par save.
Yeah, he's not happy with that result, but he's happy with his second and third throws for sure.
Well, yeah, even his second throw wasn't what he had. Not a great first throw. His second throw got blocked, and then his third putt. That's why you putt.
He's definitely limited the damage, though.
Yeah, for 100%. Still playing really clean.
Every time something not great has happened to Geoff, he's walked away with a par.
Yeah, and that's the sign of a good pro, right? You never let the course hurt you more than it has to. All right, here's hole 24. Here's one of those kind of like tunnel holes that you were talking about earlier. Definitely a lot of wind comes down this gap. It's a crossing fairway, so I think it's hole 10 that comes around this way. They're crossing fairways, so you just got to be careful of that. 459 feet. You're really trying to attack with a hyzer line. That pine tree, you're trying to get under it to get as big a skip as possible. If you go too far left, you'll get in trouble with some over branches and bushes, but if you get perfectly right down that gap, you can get a big skip.
Yep, we're going to see some fairway drivers and mids, and you're trying to get just inside of this
left pine tree.
Yep. And luckily we have a spotter today for the tournament that's watching out for the other fairway, so we don't have to worry too much. That one actually stuck in the tree.
No 2-meter rule.
Yep, so
we're fine.
That's actually a good shot. He's going to have an awkward stance, but a very good lane for his upshot.
Yep. And this is actually a pretty common thing. I see a lot of people just ripping a driver into that tree, and either they're going to miss it just low, and they're going to be down the hill, or they're going to be in the tree, and that's a pretty standard upshot from there. Yeah. So there's like almost no downside to it, just attacking that tree in general. Tim also ripping it. This is flipping over a little too much. He was even saying something off the tee box, but he is also going to get stuck in that tree.
Yep, we found both discs and got them back, and we got to move on. This is a perfect low shot.
This looks really sharp, really sharp off the tee.
So that might have been a little too stable as a choice, but he hit the gap perfectly, and he'll likely get up and down for an easy 3 here. And then this upshot is not easy, but I mean, this is about as good as you get.
I mean,
and well executed.
Yeah. I would say it's a little lucky for the conditions just because of how much it's been sliding recently, but he actually caught some fresh powder and it stopped his disc short. And here's Tim. He threw his a little shorter. He threw himself back into another bush. That's his favorite place to be today, apparently. So Geoff's got at least an open look. He's got a bit of a turnover putter.
Yeah, big drive with a DGA disc. It's one of those really floppy.
Yeah. Oh, stop.
It's almost made out of like soft rubber instead of a plastic. You can...
Got to stay clean. Caught that last pine tree. Nearly gone in.
Yeah, I think that the disc Geoff drove on this hole is called Extra Long Range Driver. I don't even know if it has a name.
Ooh, Tim just a touch short. Got kicked out. And it almost feels death putty, even though there's no OB directly behind it. But if you miss wide right, especially if you airball it, it's going to be way down the hill.
Yeah.
And give yourself another 30 look. So
easy par from Geoff. Good drive, good up, good putt.
Yeah, just a great round. And not as many birdies as I think he wanted. Like, there were several holes that were attackable that he just didn't take advantage of.
Yeah, this back 12 got a little away from Tim here too. We expected him to really shine, but a respectable round from all 4 players.
Yeah, I mean, Geoff having only 1-4 on the round, Tim only having 2. Lots of clean cards here. Andrew really shooting really well. I mean, outside of those first 2 fours, he probably shot
he definitely
ideal
fired up
round.
here.
Yep. And here we have our round 1 standing, so we're going to have 4 new guys for our round 2 coverage, but bringing back George Bino, which we had from last year, so super excited to have that.
Yep, and we get Geoff Bennett and Tim Weimer on chase cards. They're still definitely in the action.
100%. They're still shooting hot round. But thanks for joining us. Go check out the round 2 action when it becomes available. Thanks guys for watching, and we'll see you next time.